Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. Voyage. Expose Sun God Teacher, Im chases Golden List Live Room comes, exposes top 10 masters in the pirate world. Shocking all over the world. Zefa. My strongest naval teacher, isn't he number one? Krokdar and Enilu. Do I teach the Sun God attribute restraint and develop fruit abilities? Raleigh. A fake teacher. Mingge. Do I teach the Sun God the awakening of fruit? Auntie. Can't we finish class without learning how to see and hear colors? Kato. 1 stick of cherry blossom, 2 sticks of dominance, 3 sticks of Nika. Ime is furious. Chase the Sun God Luffy and his teacher at all costs. Lao Sha, Lei Li, Kai Duo. Subsequently, the top 10 princesses, top 10 movie emperors, and others were successively exposed, and the world of One Piece quickly collapsed. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Exposes Top 10 Teachers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The year 1520 in the Hyuan calendar. Recently, various types of big news have been emerging endlessly. It can be said that the mountain rain is about to come, and the wind fills the building. Luffy braved the great injustice of the world and declared war on the Navy on Justice Island. Ace was defeated by Blackbeard and imprisoned by the Navy. The Navy is planning a punishment plan. The Whitebeard pirates are preparing to discuss rescuing Ace. Let all forces around the world be eager to stir up and curious about the turbulent situation in the future. If the Navy goes to war with the Whitebeard pirates, it will definitely be a super big event that will be rare in 10 years. At a time when countless people are eagerly anticipating suddenly. Countless golden lights suddenly descended from the sky, shining brightly. Buzz. A towering momentum swept over. Let the people of the world have a blank mind and a shocking heart. I saw this golden light spreading to various parts of the world. A golden light curtain is slowly forming in the sky. It is mysterious and rustic, making people feel cold at first sight. The top powerhouses of various forces, such as the Navy, the Fourth Emperor, and the 7 Martial Seas, all frowned and quickly activated their aura of seeing and hearing, staring closely at each other. Especially the Whitebeard and Warring States forces, who are about to start war, are facing great enemies. Marshal of the Navy, the Warring States period, the 3 major generals, and Lieutenant Generals Kapu and he all quickly arrived at the rooftop. Looking at the sky with an expression of extreme fear. Cap was moved by the scene and remembered Roger's execution back then, as well as the upcoming execution by Ace, which made him inexplicably agitated. This kind of posture reminds me of the golden lion that caused such a commotion before. Isn't there anyone going to cause a big fuss at the Navy headquarters again? The yellow ape scratched its head and said in surprise. What a terrifying thing. Has Whitebeard arrived so soon? Should I launch a laser cannon to test it out? The eyes of the Warring States period flickered with a strange light, and he said in a deep voice. Don't act so quickly and rashly, just observe with a domineering aura of seeing and hearing. Subsequently, these top naval experts all exuded a majestic aura, and together they began to witness and hear. And what surprised them even more was, even their domineering observations and appearances make it completely impossible to see through what this is. And in the Mobidic. Seeing this scene, Marco felt a chill in his heart and quickly transformed into the form of an immortal bird, soaring into the sky. However, he found that the height of the golden screen was even beyond his ability to fly, and he could only return in frustration. Dad, what do you think this is? Diamond Jaws said solemnly. Shouldn't it be the Navy's fault? You want to use it to observe where we are. After exploring with a domineering aura of seeing and smelling, By Beard was covered in mist and slowly spoke. Humph, the Navy can come over and let me know. Dad, I'm still young and I want to see what he can do. The inexplicable Navy and the Whitebeard pirates all thought this way without hesitation. Is it their enemy who caused the ghost? At this moment, they held their breath and focused, their faces becoming increasingly serious. On the other side, Molia, who had just finished a terrifying 3-masted sailboat, was also very surprised when she prepared to head to the Straw Hat Pirates in the Shambhodri Islands. Luffy grinned broadly and said, "Huh, what do you think a golden light curtain is? It's so fun." Nami gave him a glare. "Stupid Luffy, don't just play around with everything." The knowledgeable scholar Robin frowned and pondered deeply, showing great interest in it. "I haven't heard of this either. Let's stop the ship for now and observe carefully." Next, the Straw Hat Pirates all had their own thoughts and carefully observed the golden screen. At the same time, the Red-Headed Pirates, Beast Pirates, Anti-Pirates, and other prestigious teams were all boiling with excitement. Discussions began one after another, trying to figure out what the golden screen was all about. Not long after, a bell-like sound sounded. "The Golden List Live Room has officially arrived. Next, we will list the items, characters, and forces that have the greatest influence and the world's will is most concerned about." During the video inventory process, corresponding questions will be generated. Those who answer the questions correctly will receive generous rewards. Please participate actively. Next up, countless powerful people with heads and faces in the world have been pulled into chat groups. Pulling relevant characters into the chat group. Rox D. Jibek, Gold Roger, and other undead are joining the chat group of the Golden List live broadcast room. Sakaski, Porosalino, Kazan, Warring States, Munch D. Kapu, Charlotte Lingling, Edward Newgate, Shanks, Kato, Munch D. Luffy, Munch D. Long, Clockdale, Boya Hancock, Marshall D. Teach. Reminder: in chat groups, it takes a huge amount of mental energy to make comments. Please speak with caution. At once, from all over the world, countless people are shrouded in golden light, their consciousness entering an extremely mysterious realm. Gold Roger. What the hell is this? A live broadcast room on the Golden List. Rox D. Jibek. Ha. Roger, you bastard, are you also in this chat group? Shurji. Huh, it seems that I won't be bored anymore. Roger. Ski, are you here too? How have you been lately? Shurji. Humph, you heartless guy, you don't even know this. If I hadn't been trying to save you, how could I have been arrested in prison? Roger. Oh, that's amazing, Shiki. I'm so touched. You could have abandoned your wife and children to save me. Lingling. Shurji. Hey, Roger. Which pot are you not opening and lifting? Morgans. Oh, I smell the smell of big news. Speak more quickly. Roger. Cough 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 cough, forget it, give you face to Shurji. Rox. Ski, are you hooked up with Lingling? They don't all have illegitimate children, do they? Kai Duo. Good guy, rabbits don't even eat grass by the nest. Wang Ji. Kai Duo, shouldn't you be jealous of Shurji? Kato. I'm not jealous of anything he does with this old lady. Charlotte Lingling. Hello, what are you talking about? Shurji. Alright, everyone, stop talking. In just a short while, the conversations of countless top performers filled the audience with satisfaction. Munch D. Cap. Humph, a group of pirates chatting openly in front of our naval heroes, it's really unpleasant. Roger. Ah, Cap. You're still here. How's the matter I asked you before? How's it going? Carp. Cough. Don't mention that matter. Roger. Don Quixote da Flamenco. Oh, it looks like there's some secret between this naval hero Cap and the Pirate King. Carp. Get lost, cough cough cough. There's a secret to the yarn. Speaking of which, with so many strong players here, it seems that it's not a golden screen that ordinary pirates can create. Warring states. Humph, don't worry, the Navy won't have any fear. At this point, countless strong individuals are discussing enthusiastically. For the deceased, this is a great opportunity to chat and reminisce with past relatives and friends. For people who are far apart, it is also a great opportunity for remote communication. And many people have also focused their attention on the theme of this top-ranked live broadcast room. Kai Duo. Humph, I don't know what to inventory in this golden list live broadcast room. The latter wave pushes the former wave. It's already my time now, and I will definitely be the most beautiful person. Rocks. Oh, Kato, have you been dragging so hard as an intern? Kai Duo. Of course, I am the 4 emperors of the famous side, and I am also the man who will become the Pirate King in the future. Munch D. Luffy. Hey. I'm the man who wants to be the One Piece King. Don't dream anymore. Kai Duo. You're such a big guy. Do you know who I am? Charlotte Lingling. Stinky little brother, don't think about it. I'm the one who wants to be the One Piece. Have you asked me about the man who wants to be the One Piece? Munch D. Luffy. Nami. Gerda D. Roger. The screen is quickly occupied by question marks. Kai Duo. Get lost. Lingling. Don't rely on old age to sell off, think you can still call me younger brother now. Charlotte Lingling. It's been so long, Kato. Are you itching? Others say you have rough skin and thick flesh, but I also don't like steel balloons. John. Well, it's better to miss each other than to see each other. Wang Ji. If it's about inventorying the biggest woman, Lingling should be able to rank first. Charlotte Lingling. John, Wang Ji, are you looking for a fight? Rocks. Are boat flowers so fierce now? John, Wang Ji, weren't you still Lingling's licking dog back then? John. Cough. The past is unbearable. Sure Ji. Indeed. Let's pay attention to the upcoming inventory video. When everyone is discussing, the voice of the Golden List live broadcast room rang out again. 10 minutes later, start counting the top 10 teachers of the current era. Ranking is not in any particular order, comprehensive selection based on the influence, strength, and other factors of the characters. Chapter 2-5 Old Stars. Damn Nika fruit. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Upon hearing this, the audience was very surprised. Surprisingly, it was the first teacher to be selected. This is beyond their expectations. They believe that even if it's an inventory, it should still be related to the top players. Kuzan. Oh. If it's a teacher, then there must be our Navy's Zefa teacher. Sakaski. That's right, our Zefa teacher is amazing. He has trained these 3 great generals, they are simply role models among teachers. Kai Duo. Che, it's really boring. Is the teacher important to this world? Zefa. It depends on what kind of teacher it is. My educational ability, strength, and influence rank in the top 3, so there shouldn't be any big problems, right? Flying Squirrel. There's no problem with teacher Zefa ranking first. Charlotte Lingling. Humph, when it comes to education, I have also educated my children to be very obedient. Who can match me? Charlotte Katakuli. Not long after. 10 minutes will end soon. Ding, the first thing to start counting is the original 7 Marshal C's, Sha Krokdar. Seeing this unexpected name, everyone was in a fit of excitement. Kuzan. Good guy, why is he still a pirate who was just caught in prison? Barrett. Oh, Krokdar is on the list. I didn't see it. Kai Duo. Cut, it's just a vegetable chicken. I guess the students I teach are also average. What's there to pay attention to? Krokdar. Why don't I remember teaching anyone? Krokdar in prison looked bewildered. Do you think you won't stay in prison forever? Can one still have the opportunity to go out and rejuvenate a new spring in life, becoming a so-called teacher? At this moment, he felt a slight joy in his heart and looked forward to the next scene very much. Nefertari Vivi. Even this great sinner is qualified to be a teacher. Edward Newgate. Krokdar, it seems you still have some skills. Krokdar. Nonsense. Whitebeard, I'm still waiting to defeat you one day. Portakas d. Ace. Krokdar, don't talk nonsense. Munch d. Luffy. Ah, Ace, are you also in this chat group? Are you okay? Portakas d. Ace. Cough, am I okay? Although Ace has been arrested in prison, he doesn't want his younger brother to know about the current situation. He believes that his life is a mistake and doesn't want to implicate others, including his foolish younger brother. Charlotte Katakuli. Wait a minute, I seem to have found something amazing. Munch d. Cap. Munch d. Luffy. Their family's surname. Well, they shouldn't have a grandchild relationship, right? Jack. The grandson of a great naval hero is actually a notorious pirate. It's really interesting, Morgan. Ah. Big news. Big news, Munch d. Cap. Warring States period. For a moment, the entire chat group was boiling up. Everyone did not expect that the grandson of the beloved naval hero Cap would be a notorious pirate. Kapu and others did not deny it, probably they also acquiesced, right? The most famous achievement of Luffy is declaring war on the world's legitimate government on Justice Island. Such arrogant and bold pirates are also extremely rare. This is simply a huge shame for the Navy. At this moment, the warring states also cast a negative gaze on Kapu. Your family has caused us trouble again, it's really troublesome. Cap's face was also a bit embarrassed. But I could only sigh with a gloomy face. At this point, the relationship between Cap and Luffy, although quite an important secret, cannot be controlled so much. Anyway, Luffy is so restless, sooner or later he will become famous all over the world. His background is also an undisclosed secret. What worries Cap the most now is the imminent execution of Ace. And in the Holy Land of Maria. The high-ranking officials of the Five Elders and the Heavenly Dragon people all had a solemn expression and a pale complexion. Seeing everyone discussing the relationship between Luffy and Cap, they were very unhappy. These Kapu's family members are really not at ease. His son, Munch D. Long, established the Revolutionary Army to fight against the World Zhengfu. If it weren't for the fact that Kapu has always upheld justice and has a high reputation among the people, it is estimated that the Tianlong people would have taken action against this Kapu long ago. This Cap's grandson Luffy is also a fuel-efficient lamp. He defeated Krokdar of the Seven Armed Seas and declared war on the World Legion at the same time. Moreover, Wulaoxing is also very familiar with the fruits of Luffy. They deliberately concealed their real name and called it the rubber fruit. But in reality, this is Renren fruit, phantom beast, and Nika form. There is a connection to the great secrets of the disappearance of 100 years, Joey Boy, and the three ancient weapons. Unfortunately, it was still eaten by the D clan of a divine enemy. That's even worse. Although senior executives such as Wulaoxing also want to capture Luffy, even if they send CP9 and Kawaii Big Bear and others, they still cannot succeed. Their actions always fail because of their wonderful fate, or because of the hiding nature of this fruit. So, the 5 old stars can only pray. This way of flying is like the host of Nika fruit in the past, there is no way to awaken. At a time of ongoing discussions among various forces. 0.03, 0.02, 0.01, the video is officially starting in the picture. The endless yellow desert appeared in front of everyone. A man wearing a black fur coat and a large golden hook on his left hand was looking ahead with a captivating gaze. He combed his big back and held a cigar in his mouth, as if very impatient. It's the video host, Sha Krokdar. In front of him, a person wearing a red vest, blue shorts, open-toed grass shoes, and a yellow straw hat stood up and prepared to fight him. This is Mingge, Luffy. Chapter 3. 5 Old Stars Startled. Teacher Sun God. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing this, the audience is still a bit surprised. Kai Duo. Oh, is the straw hat kid in front of me his student? Moonlight Moria. Ah, isn't this the despicable straw hat Luffy? Katukuli. They don't seem to have a relationship with students and teachers, do they? They're all ready to fight. Smog. What's the picture of this kid and Krokdar? Do we need to play the highlight moments related to Krokdar first? But it doesn't make sense. In fact, although Krokdar was defeated by Luffy. But this matter is not yet known to people. On the one hand, the Navy does not want to expose the fact that pirates act chivalrous and eliminate the 7 armed seas, which pose a threat to the franchise country. And Luffy is not someone who likes to promote such things. Krokdar was also unwilling to speak up about embarrassing things. So, the audience is all inexplicable at this moment. At the same time, the 5 old stars closely following the live broadcast room of the Golden List suddenly furrowed their brows and looked at each other. Why is this troublemaking straw hat Luffy again? He came to Alabastion and defeated Krokdar, which has already made us ponder for a long time, pondering his purpose. Now you're telling us that he and Krokdar have a teacher-student relationship. What does this straw hat Luffy want to learn? Although in the eyes of ordinary audiences, this road flying is at most just a famous stunned Shanghai thief, but the 5 old stars are very clear. This is the owner of Nika fruit. Although Luffy has not yet shown much threat, they cannot take it lightly. In addition, the recent incident caused by Krokdar also made them very concerned. He almost subverted the Alabastion royal family and claimed this country as his own. This is one of the 20 kingdoms that created the World Palace. Due to special reasons, the Nefertari royal family refused to move into the Holy Land of Marihoa and refused to become dragons. Therefore, Alabastion holds a significant position in the hearts of the 5 elders. And the fruit of everyone, the mythical beast species, and the form ability of the sun god Nika, who is also a member of the D tribe, Mingge, Luffy, happens to be the one who intervenes in the internal turmoil of Alabastion. When these elements come together, it's not easy. Although on the surface, Luffy and the Nefertari royal family are not entangled. But they can't completely rest assured either. And now, the Golden List live broadcast room seems to be expressing that this is a teacher-student relationship between Krokdar and Luffy. What can Krokdar teach the sun god? No matter what you teach, it's very dangerous. So many out-of-place abnormal elements gathered together. If something goes wrong, there must be demons. The 5 old stars all coincidentally felt like they were sitting on pins and needles. So while discussing, he continued to carefully watch the videos in the live broadcast room of the Golden List. Only visible in the picture. Luffy and Krokdar began their formal face-to-face encounter. Luffy instructed his companions to continue their journey to the capital city of Erebana. He believed that he could deal with Krokdar alone. Krokdar began to mock Luffy and Vivi's behavior, both of which were extremely foolish. It's simply impossible to save this country. But when faced with Krokdar's ridicule, Luffy rarely put on a straw hat and said seriously. Yeah, Vivi, although very weak, wants to save everyone she sees. It is precisely because she cannot let go of anything that she is in such pain. She just hopes that no one will die in this rebellion. Luffy highly appreciates Vivi's quality. Clodal scoffed at this. Hope no one will die. It's ridiculous. Only idiots who haven't experienced war would have such naive thoughts. Krokdar, who is a good teacher, began his first lesson on Luffy. Luffy also began to nod in agreement. That's right, she's a bit naive. As long as you're still alive, she'll come to you for a duel. So, I can only solve you here. Upon hearing this, Krokdar burst out laughing. He believes that fools like Luffy cannot survive on great routes. Subsequently, the battle between Luffy and Krokdar officially began. Luffy used all kinds of moves to attack Krokdar. However, before Luffy's fist touched him, his body turned into sand in advance. At this moment, Luffy has not yet learned his domineering skills and is indeed unable to deal with natural demon fruits. After a while, Krokdar seemed tired of Luffy's attack. He began to fly in the opposite direction with a sly smile. Desert Sword. Bang! His terrifying attack cut the desert ground in half, creating a deep ravine. Seeing Luffy's surprised expression, Krokdar slowly explained. Cleverly utilizing methods, coupled with diligent training, can effectively develop the ability of devil fruit. I'm different from you idiots who only know how to fight with brute force. After training, I have mastered the use of devil fruit's ability. He used his physical actions to tell Luffy. Mastering the ability to develop fruits is the key to becoming a true powerhouse. After seeing this series of scenes, the audience was still a bit puzzled. Marshall D. Teach. Ha ha ha. If I had met him earlier, he would probably have been in my bag. Ace. Damn it, Tiki. Don't think no one can cure you. Palya Salino. TSK, that's great. What a ridiculous battle. Speaking of which, we're all about to forget the title of this video, aren't we? Successively. Yeah, didn't you mention the top 10 teachers in the inventory? Is this Krokdar a damn teacher? Raleigh. Wait a minute, do you think there's a possibility? When I say it's possible, this teacher and student are referring to Krokdar and Straw Hat Luffy. Krokdar. Hello. Are you joking? How could I possibly be this guy's teacher? We have a grudge against each other. Munch D. Luffy. Yes, how could I possibly learn from him, this bastard? For a moment, as the intention of this top-ranked live broadcast room had not been fully understood, the audience was still confused. Both the audience and the parties involved, Krokdar and Luffy, cannot believe the identity of Teacher Krokdar. Chapter 4. Thank you, Teacher Sha, for your first class. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the chat group, everyone was amazed and amazed. Hancock. Oh, Krokdar, why do you have a grudge against the Straw Hat Kid? Krokdar. Humph, it's none of your business. Domingo. Morgans. Ah. Another big news. The Navy is fabricating news. It's Luffy from the Straw Hat Pirates who defeated the villain 7 Marshal C. Krokdar. And he's also the grandson of Navy hero Cap. Quinn. Good guy, isn't the Navy taking credit for the pirates? The Navy is really good at fishing for fame. Successively. Enough. If you keep talking nonsense, don't blame me for being impolite. Smog. Dashi Chi. One big news after another, making the audience feast their eyes. Only visible in the picture. Krokdar sneered and launched further attacks on Luffy. Desert sunflowers. Wow, a huge whirlpool of quicksand appeared on their ground. This is the most terrifying disaster in the desert. Luffy kept running forward, but still couldn't keep up with the speed of quicksand spreading. He can only come up with clever plans at the last minute. Bang! He used the rebound force of his rubber fist to fly himself out. Subsequently, Luffy created a rubber web to attack Krokdar. But Krokdar easily turned into sand and dodged his attack. Then grabbed Luffy's hand and seized the vitality of his hand. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Luffy's hand instantly transformed into the appearance of a withered mummy. Krokdar calmly explained this. I can absorb all the moisture from your hands. Now, I'll turn you into jerky. He was afraid that Luffy wouldn't understand his Sha-Sha-Guo ability, so he explained it in such detail. After Krokdar's reminder, Luffy seemed to immediately think of something. He quickly ran to a small bucket next to him. Pour this water into his dry hands to quickly restore his arms to their original state. As the battle between the two sides entered a heated stage, the audience's faces became increasingly uneasy. Dominic. Hey, Krokdar, you're drifting away. How could you say so much? Why don't you quickly take down the enemy first? Marshal D. Teach. Thief hahaha. As a pirate, being less ruthless is really boring. Jack. But it's obvious that this Straw Hat Kid is really weak, so it's normal for Krokdar not to take him seriously. Charlotte Katakuli. It's not true that, as Doflamenco speculated, this Krokdar failure. Is it because of Straw Hat Luffy? Warring States period. Munch D. Cap. Only visible in the picture. After losing patience with Luffy, Kroc also created a sandstorm. Upon learning that this sandstorm posed a threat of drought to southern towns, Luffy was very anxious and asked him to stop. However, Krokdar had lost patience with Luffy and directly pierced his body with his own golden hook. Luffy's body stiffened instantly. Schwa. Blooming wildly. Later, he said to Luffy coldly, Straw Hat Luffy, you're a dumbfounded young man who only knows how to talk big. On this great route, it's everywhere. Southern towns will be completely destroyed due to this sandstorm. That kind of outdated thinking that thinks for others will ruin this country. Straw Hat Luffy, if you can give up those boring emotions, you can still live longer. This is Krokdar's earnest teachings on Luffy. In his heart, Luffy's impulsive behavior is like playing pirate games. As he spoke, Krokdar pierced through Luffy's container of water, causing water droplets to gush out wildly and wet his body. And Luffy finally had the opportunity to touch Krokdar's body with his hand. Even pinched Crocodile in pain. Krokdar became angry with embarrassment and threw Luffy directly into the quicksand. Watching Luffy be devoured by quicksand, Krokdar sneered and did not make any cuts to him. Then he immediately left this place and continued his national theft operation. And at this moment, there are also many different dimensional bullet comments appearing on the screen. It is also marked with Selected God Review. Oh my. Lao Sha, hurry up and repair the knife. Sure enough, the villain died without ever repairing his sword. I don't know, I really thought I was flying on the special training road. He's really gentle, I'm almost in tears. Teacher Sha is indeed wise. Without his teachings, there would be no Luffy's development of the devil fruit. Moreover, Lao Sha also taught Luffy to remain rational and not be reckless due to emotions, which is what makes a qualified pirate. What a master of philosophy, a great life mentor. As the first teacher to fly on the great route, he deserves it. In the chat group. Krokdar. Where did this come from? Which bastard is making fun of me? Hancock. I can't see the speaker, it seems like something from the live broadcast room on the golden list itself. Domingo. Krokdar. At this moment, Krokdar was indeed speechless, feeling particularly frustrated in his heart. He suddenly realized that this so-called inventory teacher didn't seem to be a good thing. Chapter 5. Sun Theology returns. Counter Kroc. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Krokdar, lying in prison, was indeed very depressed at this moment. I am a grand thief who steals the country, and even if I speak out, it is a way to stop children from crying at night. Why did it fall to this point? Being defeated by a rookie boy like Luffy is already disastrous enough. Now I still have to be haunted by this Golden List live broadcast room. Do you really want to be beaten up by a bad student, this so-called teacher? Is it tolerable or not? After seeing this scene, everyone had their own thoughts and discussions. Carp. Damn Krokdar, I won't let you go of hurting my grandson like this. Warring States period. Kapu, what are you talking about, bastard? Don't forget, you need to distance yourself from that bastard's grandson. Sakaski. Krokdar has already been imprisoned, what else do you want? Kapu. Humph, even if he's imprisoned, I won't make him feel good. I'm also trying to avenge the people of Alabastion. Edward Newgate. Gulalalala. It really surprised me, Cap. It seems you still value your family a lot. Hancock. This pirate Luffy won't die so soon, will he? He doesn't even have control over his armed aura, it's really a bit of a loss. Joel D. Roger. Speaking of which, his hat seems a bit familiar. Edward Newgate. Krokdar, when you see Luffy's seemingly foolish appearance, you must be thinking of your past. Denying Luffy is actually denying your past. Krokdar. You mixed protein beard. Don't talk about these old stories. And in this scene. Sure enough, as expected by everyone. Luffy didn't die so quickly. After Krokdar left here, Luffy's head finally struggled to appear on the ground. He didn't die so quickly. Holy Mary Joan Central. The 5 old stars furrowed their brows, their expressions shrouded in gloom, and were very dissatisfied with Krokdar and Luffy. The tone of speech also added a hint of impatience. Damn it, this Krokdar is really releasing water like a way to make a living. If he had hit hard, he would have ended Luffy's life earlier. Is this the fate of Nika fruit? Let him not die so quickly and easily. Even they thought of the possibility of it becoming increasingly outrageous. Or is it that Krokdar is training Luffy in the way of strict teachers and high apprentices? Can he really teach Sun God a lot of important things as a teacher? What exactly is Krokdar plotting? Is he really just a simple thief of the country? Thinking of this, the wrinkles on the face of Wulaoxing are getting deeper and deeper. The first time I saw Luffy up close in the picture, it gave them a deeper understanding of the character, abilities, and experiences of this Nika fruit ability person. And other viewers, of course, don't think as much as the 5 old stars. They are more mocking Krokdar. As everyone joked about the capsizing of the ship in the Clodal sewer, the next scene quickly appeared. In the video, Krokdar stands on a high city wall, ready to throw Vivi to the ground. At this critical moment, Luffy finally arrived in time. Rescued Vivi. Krokdar was holding a cigar in his mouth, looking down at Luffy from above. My defeated subordinates are here again. Humph, you can't even touch one of my fingers. Subsequently, the battle between Krokdar and Luffy began again. However, in the subsequent attack, Luffy delivered a solid punch to Krokdar. Bang! Krokdar gritted his teeth in pain, his face grim, and his heart filled with confusion. How could this despicable Straw Hat Luffy suddenly capture his own entity? It's impossible for him to grasp the dominance of armed colors so quickly, right? Later, he realized that there was a bucket behind Luffy, which could provide him with water at any time through a water pipe. This is what we call a back-to-earth battle. Luffy also confidently began speaking. It was Joba's water that made me know that as long as you touch the water, you cannot turn into sand. That's why you have to take away the rainwater. Because you're afraid of these waters. In just one short turn, Luffy has found Krokdale's weakness. Water can restrain sand in the real world. After seeing Luffy launch a counterattack, the audience also experienced a commotion. Katakuli. It seems that this Straw Hat Luffy is quite clever. After being beaten half to death, he quickly analyzed Krokdale's weaknesses. Quinn. And it's thanks to this Krokdale that even a vegetable chicken who doesn't know how to wield an armed and domineering aura can find his weakness. Diamond Joyce. This Krokdale is going to suffer soon. Without the advantage of his abilities, his physical skills seem to be inferior to Straw Hat Luffy, right? Sword Bista. Krokdale, you've really wasted a lot. Do you want to continue challenging Dad now? What a wishful thinking. Krokdale. Chapter 6. One Piece Level Rewards. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When people were crazy about Krokdar, the picture was still on the air. In the screen. Luffy has found a way to touch Krokdale's body. However, in the face of Luffy's next attack, Krokdale effortlessly avoided and grabbed his hand. Just dodge your attack. It doesn't matter whether your hands are wet or dry. My hands can absorb any moisture. A moment of effort. Luffy's hands instantly turned into dried meat. However, Luffy didn't mind either. He took a few strong sips of water and quickly restored his withered hands to normal. Then, Luffy shouted loudly. As you mentioned before, the ability of Devil Fruit will become stronger due to different usage methods. I must defeat you with my rubber. This is the experience that Luffy learned from Krokdale. Subsequently, Luffy and Krokdale continued to fight. After a round of confrontation, Luffy felt that the bucket was still not suitable for combat. Simply drink all the water into your stomach. My stomach is bloating so much that I almost vomited it out. Afterwards, he spat a mouthful of water onto Krokdale, making it impossible for him to stand. Then with a fierce punch, it hit Krokdale's abdomen and made him bleed. At this moment, the audience is once again joking. Dominic. Hancock. It's really embarrassing us 7 Marshall C's. Caleb. It's really a shame to lose the face of our natural demon fruit. Polyacelino. Yes, a guy who can't even control his armed color and domineering aura can actually break through the natural demon fruit ability. I don't know if Luffy should be said to be good at it, or Krokdale too. Roger. Yeah, to some extent, this flying boy is quite impressive. Although he doesn't have any armed or domineering aura, he far exceeds the average level of his level in terms of physical skills, speed, and strength. Raleigh. Yes, if we could make up for his weakness in armed dominance, wouldn't it be an instant upgrade? Munch D. Luffy. Roronoa Sauron. Armed color dominance. After hearing the analysis of top players multiple times, the members of the Straw Hat Pirates also fell into contemplation. They were indeed very uncomfortable when they encountered the natural demon fruit ability before. If it weren't for the power of restraint, Luffy wouldn't have been able to defeat Krokdale and Enilu. Especially Navy Smog and Green Pheasant, they are unable to cope. If they cannot master the skills to deal with natural demon fruits, they will definitely crash sooner or later. Is this so-called armed color dominance a technique aimed at the elemental ability of natural elements? At this moment, the main force of the Grass Hat Troop, who had only vaguely touched the 3-colored and domineering threshold, began to slowly develop a lot of understanding. As for other viewers, I am indeed very fascinated by the strength of Luffy. Speaking of Luffy weakness, he was able to make Krokdale very embarrassed at one point. Although at this moment, Krokdale was being ridiculed crazily, but in the hearts of countless top powerhouses, Krokdar, who has fought against Whitebeard and Barrett, is definitely an Imperial Vice powerhouse with a bounty of over 10 billion. So can it prove that Luffy is very strong? But speaking of Lu Feiqiang, he doesn't even know how to wield basic armed colors. It's really unbelievable. Isn't this road too futuristic? Is this indiscriminate punching that killed the teacher? Sigh, let's mourn for Krokdar. In the chat group, everyone continued to discuss the scene. After all, this battle is indeed a topic of discussion. By the way, Krokdar, do you want to beg me? I will definitely help you teach this Luffy a lesson. Krokdar. Get lost, I don't need anyone else's help. Warring States period. We will eventually catch this flight, and then he will be able to accompany you. Kai Duo. By the way. Why do we have to watch such a boring battle? A vegetable chicken who doesn't even know how to be domineering or armed. I don't care about his teacher either. Flying Squirrel. General Zefa of our navy is the strongest teacher. The students he has trained are all beating your pirates and screaming loudly. Moonlight Moria. Is it difficult? This Krokdar is a unique teacher. Krokdar. In the following screen. Krokdar, who was beaten very badly by Luffy, became angry and embarrassed. He directly pressed his hand on the ground and launched his ultimate move. Reincarnation Erosion. Long, long, long. The dense web cracks quickly spread out. Let Luffy stand unsteadily and shout loudly, it's not good. It is about to fall into the cracks created by Krokdar. Krokdar sneered and said. The essence of sand's ability lies in its ability to dry up. My right hand can make everything dry up. I saw everything around Krokdar slowly turning into sand. The ground seems to have lost its vitality and turned into a dead object. Afterwards, Krokdar suddenly flashed in front of Luffy and grabbed his neck. Luffy spat out a few water cannon shells with his mouth. Poo 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 poo. But they were all dodged by Krokdar's head. Krokdar grabbed Luffy, absorbing the moisture from his body while giving him the final verdict. In 6 minutes, the entire square will be blown up. A new king is about to be born. Sorry, I'm in a hurry. I'm too lazy to bother with you. He threw Luffy, who had been sucked into jerky meat, directly onto the ground and continued his plan to search for the Underworld King in the real world. Normal viewers would think that Luffy would die at this moment. The audience is also a bit puzzled. It's unlikely that this road will end here, right? What other methods can he rely on to escape from the heavens at this moment? Everyone was discussing and getting up one after another. Raleigh. Oh, it's a bit unbelievable that he was really sucked into jerky. Luffy is like this, how can he survive in the future? Hancock. It seems like this road is not very strong either. It has been being run over by Krokdar all along. So it's still the Navy who can save Alabastion. Domingo. Krokdar, can't you even take down Luffy? These are 2 chances now. Giving you a chance is not worth it. Charlotte Lingling. Humph, not ruthless enough. Is it okay to be a pirate? At this moment, the screen suddenly came to a standstill, and then the corresponding golden words appeared on the screen. Start the questioning session. May I ask what will happen to Munch D. Luffy next? Those who answer the questions correctly will receive generous rewards. Please participate actively. Rewards include but are not limited to the following. Historical Text Stone Tablet, One Piece, Ancient Weapons, Tricolor Domineering Experience Pack, Demon Fruit, Weapons at the level of the Supreme Fast Sword, Resurrection Permission. Items and skills from various heavens and worlds in 5 minutes. The official quiz will begin upon hearing this information. The audience was instantly boiling. Gerd D. Roger. Are you joking? Can you give One Piece, historical texts, etc.? And you also have resurrection permission. Raleigh. Not bad. It seems that we all have to compete to get rewards. Spark Jabba. If there's a chance to bring the old captain back to life, then we can fulfill our past regrets. Warring States period. Humph, don't worry, our navy will definitely not let your pirates steal it. Charlotte Lingling. My children obey orders. They must give me a fierce answer. Kai Duo. Humph, I'm not willing to be outdone either. My little brothers, please take good care of me. We must not miss the opportunity. Forces from all over the world are determined to win. Hancock. Although the reward is good, this question is a bit difficult. Luffy doesn't seem to be able to survive, does he? Unless someone saves him. Katukuli. By the way, Nicole Robin next to Krokdale. I heard she's now a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, but in the footage, she seems to be still in Krokdale's camp for the time being. Shouldn't she have saved Luffy? Zefa. Shouldn't it have been saved by the Navy heading to Alabastion? Trafalgar Row. Oh, yes. He's the grandson of Navy hero Cap, and there should be many people in the Navy who know about it. This relationship is not simple. Domingo. Although Luffy was mediocre, he should have consumed a lot of Krokdale's stamina, which is why Krokdale was defeated by the Navy's weak chicken Smog. Smog. Hey, I didn't say anything. Moria. Alright, there's no need to pretend anymore. Smog knows that helping Luffy is not a good move and is worried about being held accountable, so he's hiding the truth. Hancock. Anyway, helping pirates with the Navy is definitely a very sensitive topic, so it's normal for you not to admit it. At this moment, many people really agree with this view, so they are preparing to answer like this. After all, besides that, they couldn't think of any good answers either. Of course, some people also believe that it may have been Luffy's companions who saved him. So, after the countdown ends, 0.03, 0.02, 0.01, we are officially starting to answer now in an instant. Everyone was eager to answer one after another. Sakaski. My answer. It was Smog from the Navy who saved Munch D. Luffy. Dominic. My answer. It was Smog from the Navy who took action and saved Munch D. Luffy. Kuzan. My answer. It's Nicole Robin from the Straw Hat Pirates who saved Munch D. Luffy. Kapu. I answered. It was a member of the Straw Hat Pirates who saved my grandson. Kai Duo. My answer. Munch D. Luffy's vitality is very tenacious, so he relies on himself to restore normalcy. Nami. My answer. Luffy was saved by his own water. Usopp. My answer. Luffy was saved by the water he vomited out. Nicole Robin. My answer. Luffy was saved by the water he had prepared himself. For a moment, countless answers drifted across the screen like a swipe. Those who slowed down for a few seconds were all submerged behind. Finally, after everyone said the answer, the live broadcast room of the Golden List has begun to announce the answers. Searching for correct answers. The first person to answer and successfully answer the question is Nami. Chapter 7. Super Electromagnetic Cannon. Nami transforms into Cannon Sister. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the chat group. Seeing Nami answering the question correctly, the respondents were very dissatisfied. Charlotte Lingling. Damn it, I have so many children that I haven't answered correctly. Shiki. How could that be the answer? Surprisingly. Katukuli. Was it saved by his own water? How could I not have thought of it? Ah. Could it be said? Kuzan. This road is flying. He's really an incredible guy. Munch D. Cap. Haha. He truly deserves to be my grandson. Warring States period. Kapu. You shut up for me. In the sunny class. After seeing that Nami's answer was correct, Luffy smiled and said. Nami, your mouth is really quick. You said the answer so quickly. There were not many witnesses to the battle between Luffy and Krokdar before. Because Luffy mentioned this matter, Nami and others were able to answer this question correctly. Nami has a pretty face with a smile, her eyes shining brilliantly. Haha, of course. I hope this reward is priceless gold, silver, and jewelry. Or maybe it could make me stronger. After all, Nami also knows that sailing on the sea, without strength, she cannot survive. Not long after, the Golden List Live Room quickly announced the rewards. Ding, Nami will gain the ability to use electric shock. After mastering this ability, you will have the ability to control the direction of charge movement. The maximum voltage is 1 billion volts. In addition, there are also the following skills. Thunderbolt Gun, Iron Sand Sword, Magnetic Hand, Super Electromagnetic Cannon. Subsequently, a blurry figure appeared on the screen in the live broadcast room of the Golden List, serving as a skill introducer. She demonstrated the ability of an electric shock driver to manipulate lightning. At the same time, a series of skills were also used, such as the Super Electromagnetic Gun. Using super strong electromagnets to shoot out special substances, forming a powerful destructive force. It has great power, long range, high accuracy, and low cost. And in the demonstration video, the demonstrator used a coin to instantly destroy a building. Of course, the Golden List Live Room also stated that the upper limit of its power is closely related to the user's own strength. If developed to the extreme, even if it's blowing up an island, there's no problem. After watching this related introduction and demonstration video, the audience was amazed. Eustace Kid. Ah, how does this skill feel so familiar? How could it resemble me so much? Enilu. How could you control the electricity to such a level? Humph, but I don't think you can perform so well. Nami. Enilu, you're actually in this chat group too. Enilu. Humph, although my god has transcended this planet, he is still willing to care about the affairs of you ants. Sakaski. Where did this maniac come from? How could he speak so loudly? Charlotte Lingling. Who is Nami who answered correctly? Let me see her intelligence. The Straw Hat Pirates only have a bounty of over 10 million. It seems like she's just a weak chicken character. Charlotte Pelosi. Can such a weak person even demonstrate the power of a demonstration video? The destructive power of this super electromagnetic gun is guaranteed to start at the rank of Lieutenant General. Jean. Is this Golden List live broadcast room really so strong that a weak chicken can instantly become a strong one? Quinn. This skill introduction also states that if one cultivates to a high level, they can even achieve the power of destroying islands. These are all top-level combat power at the level of the 4th Emperor, right? Kuzan. Isn't it a thunder fruit without side effects? That's a bit powerful. Shurji. Did you really become stronger in an instant, that girl named Nami? Of course, Nami was excitedly trying out her new abilities at the moment and didn't have time to watch chat groups. And even if I saw it, I wouldn't be so high-profile and casually expose my abilities. She was very excited and prepared to use her new abilities on board the Sunny. Frankie's eyes burst with ecstasy, urging Nami to say, Nami, hurry up and use that super electromagnetic cannon. It looks very strong at first glance. Nami was about to show off when she shook her head again. She felt very distressed at the thought of using one move to consume a coin. Are you too despicable? Frankie had a sudden idea and quickly found a pile of steel marbles to use as ammunition for the Nami super electromagnetic cannon. As long as it is suitable for firing and has a regular shape, the power of this move can be maximized. Then, amidst the eagerly anticipated gazes of everyone. After accumulating strength and preparation, Nami aimed at a giant rock passing by the island and used a super electromagnetic gun. Bang! The incredibly powerful recoil made Nami unable to adapt at once, causing her to plummet back several tens of meters and almost fall off the Sunny. Fortunately, Luffy immediately made a rubber net, which intercepted Nami. At the same time, Nami's super electromagnetic cannon also burst out, instantly shattering giant rocks that were more than 10 meters high in the distance. Bang! Mountain collapses and earth cracks. The momentum is terrifying. Seeing that Nami could also possess such powerful power, all her companions were overjoyed. Yamaji's eyes turned into red hearts. Wow, Nami sauce is amazing. This move may not even compare to my devil's foot. Luffy also compared the destructive power of the super electromagnetic gun. I feel that although my third-tier fist is strong, to break such a large stone, I still need to use 70.8% of my strength. Next. Nami continued to use it multiple times with great joy, and the power and accuracy of the super electromagnetic gun were rapidly improving at a speed that was already visible to the naked eye. Therefore, at this time, the Straw Hat Pirates were very happy for the enhancement of Nami's strength. Subsequently, scenes of Krokdar and Luffy appear in the screen, answering the doubts of countless viewers. Luffy's previous attack on Krokdar's water cannon shell, although it did not hit but after waiting for a while, it slowly fell from the air. Clack! Coincidentally hit Luffy, who had been drained, causing him to come back to life with full health. Seeing Luffy's self-rescue method, the audience couldn't help but be stunned. Moonlight Moria. Good guy, isn't this the water ball he spit out before? I thought he missed the shot, but I didn't expect to come back. Hancock. Isn't this something he deliberately calculated? So he's really amazing, isn't he? Bucky. Humph, it's just luck. The blind cat ran into a dead mouse. It looks even better than me. Katukuli. Is there a possibility that this is really something he's good at? After all, although he doesn't have an armed and domineering aura, he can still use his combat intelligence to defeat this Krokdar like this. Shiki. It seems that we can't underestimate his combat intelligence. However, it's also because Krokdar didn't repair his sword that we have the chance to keep him alive. Raleigh. Yes, even in this short amount of time, Crocodile can't wait any longer. Roger. Luffy, this luck is really amazing. The audience really can only keep roast about the fight of this child play. I even want to analyze its rationality. Flying Squirrel. Wait a minute, there's a possibility. Did Krokdar intentionally let this road fly? Huishao Shan. Yes. If he is willing to cut down the grass and root, there must be a chance to kill him. Smog. If it's not arrogance, that only means he did release Luffy twice. Katukuli. Yes. Speaking of which, isn't it about inventorying the top 10 teachers? Is it related to the teaching behavior of this Krokdar? Charlotte Lingling. I feel like it's completely off topic. Raleigh. From this perspective, Luffy's hard power and combat intelligence are both outstanding. Krokdar became his teacher, and being counted down is understandable. Dominic. I didn't think Krokdar's level was very impressive. So he's using his life to teach, his spirit is commendable, that's why he has the opportunity to obtain this inventory. Kid. Alright, don't analyze so much. I think it's because he's too garbage that Luffy defeated him. Let's kick him out of the Seven Marshalseas title. At this moment, the audience can basically be said to be divided into two factions. One faction thinks that Krokdar is very watery. The other faction believes that Luffy has enormous potential in the future. As for a small number of imaginative conspiracy theorists, they believe that Krokdar was intentionally releasing water. Maybe it's because he knows Luffy's identity. Otherwise, how could we count him as a teacher in this top-ranked live broadcast room? Many high-level officials in the Navy have thought of many conspiracies. They are also silently studying, in addition to focusing on watching this top-ranked live broadcast room. Even called people from the scientific department of Bergapunk. Let them study carefully what exactly is this Golden List live broadcast room. But even Bergapunk said he hasn't figured out what this is yet. The Navy and the world government secretly marveled at this thing, but at the same time, they couldn't help but be very cautious. At the same time, it is also necessary to analyze the purpose of exposing these images in the Golden List live broadcast room. Are you implying that there is an unknown close relationship between Krokdar and Luffy? And amidst countless discussions, corresponding barrage comments also appeared in the live broadcast room of the Golden List. Make it increasingly difficult for the audience to understand. Selected God Review. Warning. Sun God is on the brink of death. Sit-up warning. Perhaps this bubble saved not Luffy's life, but Crocodile's life. Luffy covered his face and smiled, saying, "Krokdar, it's really interesting." Luffy. "Krokdar, it's fun, isn't it? Do we need water to fight Krokdar?" Liquid rubber indicates no problem in the chat group. Dominic. These barrage comments are a bit hard to understand. Moria. It's probably nonsense, right? The world is so big, and there are all kinds of strange ideas. I don't know who said it. After seeing this scene, the Holy Land of Mary and Joan of Arc came to life. Ime frowned tightly, staring intently at the screen while waving away the butterfly that had flown beside him. Although in the eyes of ordinary people, these bullet comments, as well as Krokdar's identity as a teacher, seem like a joke. But for the high-level members of the Tianlong people who are familiar with Nika fruit, especially Ime, it is very difficult. She cannot easily ignore any factors that can awaken the fruits of the animal series, mythical creatures, and the sun god Nika. Ime immediately instructed the 5 old stars to hand over a series of intelligence about Luffy to her for careful analysis. At the same time, they were instructed to order organizations such as CP0 to strengthen their investigation into Luffy. As long as we can find the trace of Luffy, we must send our confidants to solve it as soon as possible. Of course, in fact, they had been working hard to search for Luffy's whereabouts before. Originally, the Straw Hat Pirates sent the Tyrant Bear to intercept and kill the Straw Hat Pirates while on a terrifying 3-masted sailboat. However, the Tyrant Xiong later stated that, the Straw Hat Pirates are cunning and highly skilled in navigation, with tacit cooperation. So in the end, they were allowed to escape. What else can the 5 old stars say about this besides helplessness? After Luffy was resurrected by water, the second confrontation between Krokdar and Luffy was also considered over. The live broadcast room of the Golden List has once again made a sound. Ding, detected that the audience was very puzzled by Krokdar's actions. Next, let's start the questioning session. May I ask what is the biggest purpose of Clodal in Alabastion? Upon hearing this, the audience once again erupted in excitement. Moria. Isn't it about coveting the country of Alabastion? Laughing. This evil King Xia Chiwu-si has committed many evil deeds and indeed needs to accept severe punishment. Domingo. Spicy chicken Krokdar, is it so difficult to become a king? And it's also a desert kingdom. I definitely don't have the qualifications to be a king in the new world like me, so I can only be a little king in the amusement park. Crocodile. Humph, what's there to be proud of? Don't compare yourself to me in my heart, whether it's means or ideals. Dominico. Marco. Krokdar's goal shouldn't be to be defeated by our dad, that's why we found a place that matches our own Sha fruit to play as the home court and be a shrinking turtle, right? Moria. Even in the Desert Kingdom, he still lost to Straw Hat Luffy. It's really ironic. Hancock. But if the Golden List live broadcast room asks like this, there should be other hidden secrets, right? Munch D. Luffy. He's such a jerk, no matter how many goals he has. I'll beat him up. Raleigh. Is it really difficult to be a teacher of Straw Hat Luffy? It seems a bit outrageous. GOLD, Roger. If you're not joking, he definitely wants to be there, to be exposed to the most important secrets of the world. Is that what makes his ambition worth it? Roger broke the key with just one word at a time. Chapter 8. The Underworld Exposes. IMM's Killing Intent. Vivi obtained. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the sunny class. Seeing the bewildered expressions of Luffy and other members of the Straw Hat Pirates at this moment, Robin quickly and briefly explained the relevant information about the historical text in Alabastion. After all, people like Luffy who never really care about the underworld and historical texts probably don't really understand the true purpose of Krokdar. After listening to Robin's words, Nami was also a bit worried at this moment. So, if that's the case, will Vivi be in danger? If the world Jingfu knows about the Underworld King, it might be very troublesome for her too. Really, according to the behavior of the world's official government, it is really difficult to say how the world's official government would treat Vivi's country, as they were able to do such things to Robin's hometown of O'Hara in the past. Luffy clenched his fist and said with a high aura. Humph, I don't care what they do. If they want to take action against Vivi's country, I will definitely not let them go. Sauron wiped the blade while letting Luffy calm down a bit. But we really can't afford to provoke the people of the world's legitimate government now. We still need to discuss it carefully now. Otherwise, we will definitely face the same situation as last time when we faced the Green Pheasant, and the whole army will be destroyed at any time. Sanji nodded. After all, the world's official residence is also shameful. If audiences all over the world could see this top-rated live broadcast room, the world's official residence should not act recklessly. Nicole Robin continues to provide analysis. Besides, Alabastion only has intelligence about the Underworld King. They don't really have the Underworld King, so their country shouldn't be in danger. Let's also go and answer later. If you can continue to receive rewards, you can quickly become stronger. Nami also carried a crackling lightning in her hand, as if she were a goddess of thunder and lightning, steadfastly saying. You're right, I quickly adapted to my ability now. If given the opportunity to continue developing these electrical skills, I would definitely not be inferior to that Enilu. At this moment. On the one hand, the Straw Hat Pirates need to discuss a comprehensive solution. On the one hand, we also need to utilize the live broadcast rooms on the Golden List to obtain more intelligence and rewards. Quickly, the countdown is over. With the order from the Golden List live broadcast room, the time for answering has begun. All the audience completed the quiz as quickly as possible. Rox D. Gilbert. My answer. Krokdar wants to snatch the hidden treasure of Alabastion. Warring States. My answer. Krokdar wanted to occupy Alabastion, plunder the people, and seize Alabastion's taxes. Marco. My answer. Kroc wants to occupy Alabastion as his hiding place. Nefertari Vivi. My answer. Krokdar is going to seize the ancient weapon Pluto, the Underworld King, and wants to understand the main text of history. Nefertari Cobra. My answer. Krokdar covets the ancient weapon Pluto, the Underworld King. Sakaski. My answer. Clodal wants to occupy the country of Alabastion and make it his own power. In the live broadcast room of the Golden List, the answer quickly brushed across the screen. Rox. Hahaha, I was the fastest to answer. John. Captain, what are you doing so happily? I'm not sure if your answer is correct yet. Shiki. Ah, this princess and king of Alabastion actually claim to be the Underworld King. This is amazing. They must know the inside story, right? See Vivi and answer first. Robin also asked Luffy and others to stop talking. Since we won't let these good rewards be taken away by external enemies, the members of the Straw Hat Pirates don't have to worry. This is actually for the sake of safety. Try to minimize the exposure of some intelligence, so as not to let Vivi's relationship with these pirates be caught by the world government. In addition, they were already quite conspicuous before, so let's try our best not to attract more attention from the world government. Not long after, the Golden List live broadcast room quickly gave a reward for the correct answer. Ding, Nefertari Vivi answered correctly first. We are giving rewards that match her physical fitness. Upon hearing these messages, everyone was once again in a state of uproar. Shiki. Good guy, it seems like this is true. The Alabastian country actually has the legendary Pluto, the Underworld King. Krokdar. Damn Vivi. Are you even trying to compete with me for this answer? Kuzan. Humph, it seems that Krokdar's purpose is not that simple. Domingo. Sakaski. No, the intelligence and design drawings of the underworld. Shouldn't they be in the water capital? CP9 has been undercover for so many years, and has he been working tirelessly? Rob Lucci. I can't say that either. In the water capital, there are designs of the ancient weapon Pluto, the Underworld King. However, Alabastian may also have very important intelligence. Kaku. The essence of the Hades may be in Alabastian. Or, in other words, the key to using the Hades is also within Alabastian. The Navy and the people of the world's legitimate government have fiery eyes. Pluto, the Underworld King, is definitely something they must compete for. Nefertari Cobra. I want to say. This kind of Underworld King is not even in our Alabastian, and being targeted by Krokdar makes me very frustrated. Nefertari Vivi. Please, don't worry about our Alabastian things. Katukuli. Indeed, according to the questions asked in the live broadcast room of the Golden List, this is Krokdar's purpose, but whether his purpose is the truth is not necessarily true. Charlotte Lingling. Mama. It actually involves the three ancient weapons, the Heavenly King, the Sea King, and the Underworld King. It's really interesting. Hancock. In this case, this country may cause another wave of unrest. Smog. Yeah. Before, there was a 7 martial seas attacking this country. And later on, it may be even more troublesome. Warring States period. But don't worry. Our Navy has caused such great turmoil in your country before, and we will not repeat it in the future. Munch D. Cap. We will definitely send the strongest troops to your place. I will bring my own team. Do you think any pirate dares to attack Alabastian? Kuzan. That's right, this is also our Navy's way of making up for mistakes. In the Navy office. The Warring States period looked at Kapu with a speechless expression. Why are you thinking of running to Alabastian, you guy? Cap dug his nostrils and said casually. I have always been a navy that upholds justice. Isn't it normal to protect weak countries? After seeing the scene in the picture just now, Cap naturally discovered it very keenly. The relationship between Luffy and Vivi seems to be very close. Not only did it save Vivi, and during the battle with Krokdar, it was all about Vivi in every word. Even Cap suspected that Luffy might have hooked up with the princess of this country, right? And Vivi is indeed a very qualified princess. Even with current intelligence alone, Cap can conclude that Vivi has contributed a lot to this country. So, in both emotions and reason, he needs to protect this country and Vivi. Although according to his grandson's personality, he shouldn't be so good at teasing girls, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, Vivi will be covered by him. Seeing Kapu's expression, as a familiar colleague from the Warring States period, he naturally glared at him with displeasure and said. Alright, Cap, don't let me expose you either. You must have gone to this place for Luffy. Seeing this picture of Vivi and Luffy, everyone knows it. After being exposed, Cap wasn't very angry either. Humph, no matter what, I will never let those who covet ancient weapons succeed. I'm not doing it for my grandson. After all, it's just for the sake of my granddaughter-in-law. Is there anything wrong with oneself? At the same time, after learning that the country of Alabastion had an inseparable relationship with the ancient weapon King Pluto, many pirates, especially Kato and the Fourth Emperor pirates, are eager to stir up trouble. After all, countless pirates flocked to a One Piece. Even if you die, you must go to the new world of the Great Voyage. So a equally weighty and powerful Pluto, the Underworld King, will naturally become their coveted target. At the same time, in the Holy Land of Mary Joan, after seeing the exposure of information about Pluto the Underworld, Im is very dissatisfied with this. Alabastion is indeed related to the ancient weapon Pluto. Unfortunately, Im also regrets that he does not have the relevant start key. Also, Luffy and others came to Alabastion. Is it also for the sake of Pluto, the Underworld King, that I became acquainted with Vivi and others? Is it because Luffy knew Vivi's identity that he befriended her? All sorts of coincidences make it impossible for IMM to ignore the series of events triggered by Luffy anymore. After all, she knows the most about the inside story. Refusing to become the Alabastion royal family of the Tianlong people. Intelligence related to Pluto the Underworld King. Possessing a mysterious bloodline factor, the Nefertari family may be able to unlock the Underworld King. Joey Boy's 800-year agreement is about to come. Sea King Poseidon is also preparing to awaken. Nika fruit owner Mingge, Luffy. And being able to read the main text of history, Robin, the survivor of O'Hara, surprisingly joined the Straw Hat Pirates. This series of elements stacked together is very outrageous. Regardless of whether Luffy was the one who caused this series of things by chance or if everything was in his calculations, I couldn't ignore Luffy's position. At this moment, Im paced back and forth anxiously. Will that prophecy come true? Does Joey Boy want to fulfill his mission? No way. Definitely not enough to bring the Heavenly King, Sea King, Underworld King, and Joey Boy together. At this moment, Im's killing intent was even greater. There was a faint intention of taking action against Vivi. And I dare not let go of Luffy at all. How should we get rid of Luffy? After much thought, Im was also very difficult. There is a naval hero named Cap in the Navy, who will definitely stop the Navy from taking action against Luffy, right? Moreover, if too much attention is paid to Luffy, it is inevitable that it will cause confusion and attention from these navies. At the same time, the day of the execution of Ace, the son of the Pirate King, was approaching, and the Navy was extremely busy. So we can only hand it over to CP0 and other direct subordinates to solve Luffy. And afterwards, something even more frightening for IMM appeared. The Golden List Live Room has begun to issue relevant rewards. Ding, Nefertari Vivi received the following rewards and punishments. Reward Vivi with a magical item in the world of different dimensions. Any door. Usage condition. Specify a specific character. As long as the character agrees to this, the user will be able to open this door and go to the designated character's location. This door has 3 usage permissions after opening. As long as the user is willing, their companions can also pass through any door. Upon hearing this, the audience all took a deep breath. Moria. I'll go. This reward is too strong, isn't it? Rob Lucci. It sounds like an evolved version of Menmon fruit. Kuzan. Yes, even the gate fruit cannot go to another place casually. And there is also a distance limit. Kai Duo. Is it so magical that he can come directly to me through this door with just one agreement from me? Katakuli. Although there are only 3 chances to use it, it is enough to complete many big events. Munch D. Cap. Coincidentally, if you need the protection of our Navy, Vivi, with just one command, we will definitely come to you in an instant. Shiki. Humph, your navy is the most evil person, right? Don't trust them lightly. Kai Duo. If you let the navy come directly in front of you, you probably won't be able to protect your country's underworld king. Warring States period. Damn Kaido. Don't sow discord here. Our navy is the representative of justice, how could we do such a dirty thing? Hancock. Hey, what are you all listening to? They also said that the underworld king is not even in their country. Moria. Hehe, no matter what you do, I don't believe it anyway. Maybe the Hades is really in this Alabastion. Domingo. Maybe the navy isn't that great at the moment, I just want to covet this ancient weapon. At this moment, the navy and pirates have both started a heated argument. Chapter 9. The Adventures of Any Gate to Maria and the Destruction of Heaven. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Although many pirates were accusing the navy at this time, it has to be admitted. After possessing the props of any gate, Vivi and her companions would probably be in great danger if they wanted to invade Alabastion. So at this moment, even the 4 Imperial-level forces who had coveted ancient weapons had to weigh it up. Dare not easily attack Alabastion. If we could really summon Kapu and the 3 generals and others all at once, they just threw themselves into the net. And the pirates also have to worry if Vivi and the navy reach an agreement. In theory, it shouldn't be difficult for him to invade any pirate's territory, right? As long as all the advanced naval forces reach a place in an instant, even the 4th Emperor will have to run away like crazy. And after seeing Vivi's arbitrary gate reward, Ime, deep in the Holy Land, is even more dissatisfied. Vivi's original identity was already enough to make her wary. Now there is another powerful prop added. It is indeed an undeniable threat. For example, if she collaborates with someone who wants to overthrow the world, then her prop can be very tricky. Anyone with hostile forces can find ways to come to the Holy Land. Then use this arbitrary door to contact Vivi on the other side and open this space-time channel. Isn't that enough to make the troops instantly reach the Holy Land of Maria? Although IMM is very confident, even if the 4 emperors arrive at the Holy Land in an instant, Maria can easily handle it, but having such a threat still made her very unhappy. I feel like my authority is being challenged. This kind of divine prop is absolutely not allowed for these mortals to possess. IMM also began to think about what to do to snatch this arbitrary door. At the same time, it does not arouse Vivi's aversion and fear. After all, such props, if they are strong, are not strong enough to be destroyed at all costs. But speaking weakly has the power to provoke the Tianlong people. At the same time, the members of the Straw Hat Pirates were also very excited. If Vivi can obtain such a prop, then we don't have to worry about her. Yes, she will definitely have the power to protect herself. Don't worry about other pirates harming them casually. Luffy also smiled and breathed a sigh of relief. As my grandfather said, as long as they are willing to use it, he can come and protect them at any time. My grandfather is still very strong and completely trustworthy. Both Cap's character and ability are truly worthy of Luffy's trust. At this moment, at a time when the world was shocked by the issues and rewards related to the Underworld King. In the following screen. Indeed, it also showcased scenes related to Pluto the Underworld. In the tomb of Alabastion, Krokdar and Robin stood in front of a huge monument, their faces solemn. Krokdar asked Robin to tell him the information above. As the only survivor of O'Hara, Robin may be the only person who can still read the main text of history. Subsequently, Robin began to read out the content of the historical text one by one. However, what Robin mainly talked about were issues related to the history of Alabastion, and they were all information about the iteration of dynasties. Krokdar was completely unwilling to accept this and asked Robin to quickly reveal information about the ancient weapon, the Underworld King. But Robin stated that there was no intelligence from Pluto, the Underworld King, here. Clodagh was very disappointed with this. Believing that Robin had deceived himself. There is no utilization value at all now. He quickly defeated Robin. Robin was hit by Krokdale's golden hook and poison needle, fell to the ground, and was about to die at the same time. The tomb suddenly began to tremble violently. Krokdar asked Cobra what was going on. Kubula said he had already pulled out a pillar, so the place was about to collapse soon. He would rather die with Krokdale than let him take away this country. However, Krokdale was not afraid at all. His fruit ability can easily turn rocks into sand and escape from here. Krokdar believed that the Hades was in this country. He will have plenty of time in the future, slowly search for it. Seeing scenes related to the underworld appear, the audience is extremely excited. Many pirates who covet the power of ancient weapons are staring at the screen, hoping to see some important information. After seeing Robin say there is no record here, many people were extremely disappointed. They were all cursing loudly in the chat group. Some even expressed disbelief in Robin's words, believing that Robin was deliberately concealing. These people are still full of thieves and want to find Alabastion, Krokdale, or members of the Straw Hat Pirates to gain the power of the Underworld King. However, in the chat group, many insiders who are familiar with the situation have started to speak up. Raleigh. Haha, Krokdale, do you really think you have a good chance of winning the Underworld King? Roger. Actually, I have already understood all the historical texts. I understand very well that the Hades is not even in Alabastion. So not only did you find the wrong direction, but you even indirectly helped Luffy. It seems that Luffy really needs to thank you. Shanks. Yeah, that's right, Krokdale. I feel like you're the one guiding Luffy. They mocked Krokdar while also trying to protect Alabastion through this. Krokdale. Sure gee. So how grateful this Luffy was to have Robin, the person who interprets the world's main text, thanks to Krokdale. Domingo. Humph, this Straw Hat Road is flying on Justice Island, challenging the World Court for Nicole Robin. Maybe it's also for Robin, in order to obtain this so-called Hades King. Charlotte Lingling. Humph, I don't believe in the clues from the Underworld King either. They were cut off so quickly. Munch D. Luffy. I'm not doing it for such a boring thing. Because Robin is our companion, then we must protect our companion, that's just that simple. Crocodile. Damn it, is all of this true? Is all of what I have done a wedding dress for others? At this moment, Krokdale in prison screamed wildly, his mentality was about to collapse. Roger. Huh, seeing that you always don't patch up on Luffy, making him constantly stronger and even defeating you, I doubt that you really treat him like an apprentice. Kai Duo. Not just apprentices, they are all biological sons. Krokdale. Roger, after knowing so much about historical texts, do you already know the location of the ancient weapon, the Underworld King? Roger. Of course, but don't expect me to say it out loud. Am I honest too? This is actually closely related to One Piece. Roger's words, one stone stirs up 1,000 waves. People who envy One Piece and ancient weapons are burning with blood in their chests. Warring states. Really? Hurry up and tell him. Our navy must protect this thing from being used by other pirates. Roger. Alright, let's go, Warring States period. I am very clear about your personality. Roger. Ancient weapons like this must not fall into the hands of the Navy and the world's legitimate government. Roger. Don't worry. You will eventually be exhausted by this huge war in the future. At that time, the world will definitely usher in a brighter future. Roger in heaven is indeed very excited. Although he is still unclear about how his biological son is doing, but he seems to have seen another heir of his own. From the previous scenes, he felt that Luffy inexplicably fell in love. A seemingly innocent fool, in order for Vivi to be his companion, can challenge Krokdar and rescue Alabastion. This personality is indeed somewhat similar to him. Even if the ancient weapon, the Underworld King, was truly in the hands of Luffy, he should be able to rest assured. Therefore, Roger is indeed looking forward to seeing the future of Luffy. Let's see if Luffy, the grandson of our old rival Kapu and also a member of the D clan, can make good use of this ancient weapon. Locks D. Gilbert. Indeed, if the world's legitimate government gains this powerful force, it will only strengthen their rule with it. Sakaski. Even without this power, we can completely eliminate you pirates. Marco. Isn't this Luffy, like our father, also coveting this powerful force? Sakaski. Don't listen to him talk nonsense. I don't believe he doesn't covet ancient weapons. Our navy will never let him go in order to protect world peace. Trafalgar Luo. Come on. Your navy can't even protect a member country. Hancock. If it weren't for Luffy's actions, Alabastion would have been completely ruled by evil people. Warring States period. That's just two pirates eating black and white. Don't think this can make Luffy a good person. For a moment, everyone was arguing non-stop. The navy and pirates both blame each other. Afterwards, relevant scenes also began to appear on the screen. In the picture. When Clodagh thought he could already seize this country, the wall next to it suddenly had a hole blasted out. Another familiar figure appeared. It is the resurrected Luffy. He searched all the way to the tomb of the Alabastion royal family. After seeing this Luffy again, Krokdar also became angry and embarrassed. You stinky kid who can't kill, why are you always struggling with me? How on earth can you give up? What do I really want? Is it money or fame? Or is it rain? Upon hearing this, Luffy said solemnly. It's the country. At this moment, Luffy is completely like the righteous side, starting to attack Krokdar. The sailors who saw this scene all had strange expressions. They have been slandering Luffy's Straw Hat Pirates before, saying that they are a team that does nothing wrong, but the scene before us is actually an evil pirate, fighting against the heinous Seven Marshalsea. What does this bring to their navy's face? Gerd D. Roger. Oh haha, that's interesting. It seems like Luffy is on the right side now. Is he really a wanted pirate? Shiki. Yeah, Alabastion is in chaos like this. Where did your navy go? Sakaski. What's there to praise about this pirate? He just happened to do something good objectively, a dog bites a dog. Raleigh. Che, it's really a hypocritical navy. People from all over the world seize the opportunity to fiercely attack the Black Navy. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Chapter 10. Luffy goes to prison to rescue Ace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the picture. Another battle between Luffy and Krokdar has begun. Krokdar originally saw that Luffy didn't have a bucket, so it was impossible for him to hit him. Next second after the result. Bang! He was punched hard by Luffy again. Krokdar grinned in pain and said. What's going on? Even though there's no water left, how could it possibly hit me? Subsequently, Luffy raised his bloody fist, which finally explained to Krokdar and the audience. Luffy uses his own blood as water to counter the enemy's desertification and ensure a hit on Krokdar. This can be said to have added a red buff in the chat group. The audience was once again very surprised. Joracle Mihawk. Oh, how could he hit Seven Marshalsea Krokdar in such a way? This kid is quite clever. Kuzan. Yes, I thought he didn't know how to arm himself and be domineering. He's a weak chicken. Green Pepper. Yes, how can Cap's grandson Luffy shout? I thought he was a naive and silly kid, but he turned out to be quite clever. Smoky. Wait. Doesn't that mean that a weak chicken who doesn't know how to be domineering can solve this crocodile with water or bloodshed in battle? It's ridiculous to think about it. Katakuli. But upon careful consideration, even if an ordinary person has mastered dominance, it is impossible to break through and defend against pirates at the level of Krokdar. It can only be said that this journey is quite peculiar. He is a person with strong panel data, but his weaknesses are also very obvious. It's becoming increasingly difficult for everyone to see through this road of flying. I don't even know if it's to increase my evaluation of Luffy or lower the evaluation of Krokdar. Many strong players are aware that when Krokdar was young, he even had the ability to challenge Whitebeard. Even with the famous lunatic Barrett, we can draw. So the basic strength is definitely not weak, is it? But being beaten to such an extent by this non-domineering Luffy, one can only doubt his past strength and combat skills, and there may be a lot of water in it. After all, it's impossible to suspect that Whitebeard and Barrett are weak, right? Flying Squirrel. Is Barrett, the so-called descendant of demons, just like that? Krokdar, who has fought against him, is also a second-rate person. Domingo. It seems that our navy valued Barrett so much back then, it was like killing a chicken with an ox knife. Barrett. Humph, don't compare this Krokdar to me. He was just a little behind me back then. Now he's far behind me. Joe's. Yes, the Luffy kid does have some skills, but winning against guys like Crocodile is not a big deal. Bista. Just Krokdar, you still want to challenge our dad. It's really beyond our measure. Back then, we were just newborn calves and didn't fear tigers, right? Krokdar. In the picture. Krokdar, who became angry with embarrassment, activated his true skills. He untied the golden hook shell and exposed the venomous needle that shimmered with purple venom. Although Luffy was cautious, he still couldn't avoid Krokdar's poisonous needle. Krokdar was even more proud, believing that Luffy could not continue to live. In the following battle, he dodged Luffy's attack with ease. There is a safe chance of winning this. It seemed as if he felt that Luffy's physical skills were far superior to his own, so he didn't want to confront Luffy head-on and just wanted to wait for Luffy to die from poisoning. But for some reason, this flying Buddha-like statue is the fruit of an animal demon. I always do sit-ups. No amount of fighting can make him completely fall down. Seeing Luffy continuing to struggle to fight, the audience's faces became increasingly solemn. In the chat group. GOLD, Roger. Luffy, is his fighting spirit really too strong? I have great confidence in him. Kuroka's. Roger, you're not mistaken. In fact, I have great confidence in him. Captain, if you see him, you will definitely give him full recognition. If it weren't for being in a chat group in front of everyone, Kuroka's would probably say that Luffy is the one Roger Pirates is waiting for. When Kuroka's saw Luffy in the Twin Gorge, he firmly believed. And seeing his subsequent series of achievements further confirms this conclusion. Luffy is likely to become the successor of Roger Pirates. Kai Duo. The vitality of this flying kid really surprised me a bit. Quinn. Yes, isn't this rubber fruit a superhero demon fruit? It doesn't seem like a tenacious existence at all, does it? Raleigh. Even though he doesn't even have the aura of armed color, he can only rely on his own physical body to resist attacks. Surprisingly, he has persisted for so long, and it is already the third battle. Katakuli. Well, it's a bit like my glutinous fruit, but I don't know why he has such a tenacious vitality. Jean. Indeed, is this the reason for his own constitution? Hancock. Wait a minute, shouldn't you say? He can ultimately defeat Crocodile, right? Dominic. Shan. That's unbelievable. He's someone who doesn't even know how to dominate with 3 colors. Krokdar. In the picture, Krokdar is trying to mock Luffy and mock his foolishness. Is it worth dying for someone like this? As long as you are willing to give up 1 or 2 friends, you won't suffer such a catastrophic disaster. What an idiot. Upon hearing his discouraging attitude, Luffy still didn't give up at all. He trembled and struggled to stand up. Vivi, she will sacrifice herself to help others. If I don't care about her, Vivi will really be killed by you. I don't want her to die because she's our companion. Krokdar spoke coldly. Even if it's death, are you not afraid? Luffy's eyes widened in anger and he said loudly. If you die, then let's talk about it when you die. I must defeat you now. In the end, Luffy kicked Krokdar into mid-air. Krokdar in the air had a fierce face and used a sandstorm towards Luffy below. Hoo. The strong wind is raging. Flying sand and moving stones envelop this place. The entire tomb is almost destroyed by him. But Luffy remained fine, taking a deep breath and bouncing his body into the air. Krokdar used a giant blade condensed with sand to shoot out at Luffy. Even though Luffy was at the end of his crossbow, he still used his fists to smash the sand giant blade and his machine gun fists to fiercely strike Krokdar. Bang! The ceiling of the tomb was shattered, and Krokdar was completely knocked out by Luffy. With the blessing of various buffs, Luffy ultimately succeeded in defeating Krokdar. With the end of this scene, the audience also became completely excited. Dominic. No way. Previously, when it was said that Luffy had defeated Krokdar, I thought it was a joke, but now it seems to be true. Quinn. Krokdar, you're really amazing. You really need to be eliminated from the ranks of the 7 Marshalseas. Katukuli. It seems that the Navy did not provide any help in this war, mainly relying on Luffy to win Crocodile in order to achieve victory. Charlotte Lingling. The princess of this world's legitimate franchise country actually became friends with Straw Hat. It's really funny. Shurji. Humph, your Navy has been concealing this fact, it's really a very shameless move. Joel D. Roger. But what he got was just a reward raised by Luffy. Your Navy is indeed ungrateful. Raleigh. It seems that the people of Alabastion may have to seek help from pirates because they know the Navy is unreliable. For a moment, everyone in the chat group was condemning the Navy. The navies are all shameless. Sakaski. Humph, stop joking. It's just a dog biting a dog, it's just a battle sparked by the interest struggle between Luffy and Krokdar. Smog. Alright. I also admit that I was not the hero of the end of this rebellion. The people who saved Alabastion were indeed the Straw Hat Group. Warring States. Hey, Smog, do you know what you're talking about? Don't forget your identity. Smog. I haven't forgotten, it's because I remember my righteous identity that I have no face to make such shameless actions. Dashi. Indeed, I don't think this is a just move either. Our Navy is a bit ashamed. Charlotte Lingling. Mama. It's rare for even the Navy to actively apologize. Kai Duo. Che, your Navy has done a lot of bad things. Do you think we don't know? What is this? At this moment, many pirates in the chat group are quite amazing. From the perspective of being pirates, they naturally wouldn't have much recognition for Luffy's behavior. Even he just felt that Luffy's behavior was a bit out of place with his identity as a pirate. Those who hold conspiracy theories will think that there may be some kind of conflict or interest struggle between him and Krokdar. That's why they had a big fight against Krokdar and ended the rebellion caused by him along the way. And as Luffy said, he is friends with Princess Vivi of this country. That's why we helped Vivi achieve the final victory, right? While everyone was lively and talking non-stop. The next scene will appear soon. In a pitch-black environment, Luffy reappeared. And the background of this time make everyone a bit unfamiliar. It looks like a prison. Bars, cameras, and dim lights are all features of a prison. Surrounded by copper and iron walls. It makes people feel intimidated. See this scene. The entire navy was quickly shocked. Flying squirrel. What? This place seems to be the underwater prison. Huishao Shan. That's right, it is indeed, and it's also an independent separated prison. This can't be the 6th floor prison, can it? Domingo. Ha. Why did Luffy come here? Except for a few senior naval officers, other ordinary navies actually do not understand the relationship between Luffy and Ace and others. At this moment, the warring states immediately cast their unfriendly gaze on Kapu. Kapu, it's not like you, your despicable grandson, came to save Ace, is it? Kapu was also filled with excitement and blurted out. Is there such a good thing? Warring states period.